Test 1 2 3 4. Testing 1 2 1 2 1 2. Test 1 2 1 2. Testing 1 2 1 2. Close enough for government work, as they say.
Yes, sir. You want me to try to call you back? I did call back, and then I could hear it. I got the first time it was you're hearing me out in the atmosphere, but not the now when you call you want to call me on this Skype? Or you want me to call you? Okay, I'll call you. Hey, that was yeah. How are you? All right.
Going live in 10. Dang it. Do not understand this whole thing. Test 1 2 2 2. Test 1 2 1 2 2 1 2 1 2. Testing 1 2. Ten nine 8 7 6 5. 10 9 8 7 6 5. Live in 10. Live in 10. Hey, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of the state director, Legree Oswald, who's down on the field with a microphone in hand, ready to start the second game of the day. Appreciate you making us a part of your Friday afternoon. I'm John Turner, voice of Fort Mill Post 43 Senior Baseball. Thank you for making us a part of your Friday afternoon. Hope everybody is staying cool, calm, and collected because it is hot enough to make the devil sigh here at beautiful Cornell Field. Sparrow Stadium here at Francis Marion University, 11-year-old facility, $11.1 million to complete this gorgeous site and ready for baseball. Game number 2 of the day, but not the second game of the state tournament. Just want to make sure everybody understands that as Richland Post 215 will battle the P15s from Sumter, South Carolina. And this isn't an elimination game. If you missed it earlier, Camden defeated Inman by a final score of 10-5. And so Inman, unfortunately, their season has come to an end. Camden will advance to tomorrow afternoon at 4 o'clock, and Camden will take on the winner of this game between Richland and the P15s of Sumter. Some notes before we get into the starting lineups for both teams. Let's talk about Richland 215 for starters. The only team left in this state tournament that was not a league champion. Let that marinate for a second. Everybody else was a league champion, but not Richland. They beat Greer at Stevens Field twice last Saturday to earn a trip to the middle of this week. They're 4-2 in the playoffs, 9-6 in the regular season, 6-1 at home, 3-5 on the road. They started the playoffs by blanking Greenwood. Then they got 10 run, ironically, by the Greer Warhawks, 15-5 the next day. Survived an elimination game with Greenwood 7-0, then went on to defeat Greer 5-1 and then 10-0, and then got 10 run again at Inman 10-0 on Tuesday of this week. And so that's how Richland Post 215 is in this tournament. But again, an elimination game as Mr. Oswald is going to do the introductions on the field. We don't have a crowd mic, so apologies for that. Talk about the P15s for just a moment. The League One champions, they're also 4-2 in the 2023 playoffs. They're 12-5 in the regular season, 9 at home in Riley Park in Sumter, South Carolina. They lost their first home game of the season in the playoffs on July 15th. They lost 4-1 to Manning, but then beat Manning the next day 14-6. Then won at Camden before losing to Florence 7-1 on Wednesday. Their run differential is something to keep in mind in the playoffs. They've only outscored their opponent by 13, 33 runs for, 20 against, but in the regular season, 115-89. What does that mean? It means Sumter is scoring runs, but they're also giving up runs, but they know how to win close games. That is something you want to have in your cap in a state tournament. So Richland 215 will battle the P15s of Sumter, so they're going to do the national anthem and the code. And we will come back to you, fine folks. You are listening and watching the 2023 South Carolina American Legion Senior Baseball Championships here at Sparrow Stadium in Florence, South Carolina, here on the We Are Fort Mill Broadcasting Network. And they're actually going to call out the players one at a time, or no, they're just going to let them all come out. Sumter wearing the American flag jerseys. Go ahead and give you the starting lineups. We'll start with the P15s. Leading off, the shortstop, number 24, Cooper Rebels, batting second and left. Number 8, Ritz Best, batting third. Center fielder, number 19, Carew Bates. Batting cleanup at second, number 30, Julian Scott. Batting fifth at third, number 1, Evan Smith. Batting sixth, first baseman, number 10, Andrew Peck. Batting seventh, the designated hitter, number 31, Matthew Moore. Batting eighth, the catcher, number 77, Rucker Brannon. And batting ninth in right field, number 4, Caleb Gibson. On the mound, number 27, Austin Laughlin. For the P15s of Sumter, again, it's Rebels, Best, Bates, Scott, Smith, Peck, Moore, Brandon, Gibson, and Laughlin on the mound. Now for Richland Post 215, leading off at second base, number 5, Dubose Rimbert. Batting second in center field, number 3, Jayshawn Benbow. And actually, scratch that. For the P15s of Sumter, this is the starting lineup for P15s. I beg your pardon. Batting second, center fielder, number 3, Jayshawn Benbow. Batting third, at third, number 6, Clayton Goff. Batting cleanup at shortstop, number 4, Bryce Coulter. Batting fifth in left field, number 17, Davis Campbell. Batting sixth, first baseman, number 10, Hayden Lyons. Batting seventh, the catcher, number 20, Gavin Rivers. Batting eighth, designated hitter, number 11, Carson Todd. Batting ninth in right field, number 19, Wyatt Meldrum. And on the mound for the P15s of Sumter, number 13, Chase Denton. So again, for Sumter, it's Rimbert, Benbow, Goff, Coulter, Campbell, Lyons, Rivers, Todd, Meldrum, and Denton on the mound. As now the public address announcer, who is Michael Reesnyder, one of his sons, is waxing poetic on the microphone to our right. The thing I love about this facility is I look to my right and there's a sliding glass window. So I can yell at Michael Reesnyder when we disagree on a call, which we did in the previous game. But that's what baseball's all about. That's why we're here. We're all baseball nerds in some way, shape, matter, or form. And I appreciate all the support that you give to these young players, these coaches, all these commanders across the state, all of these athletic directors across the state of South Carolina. Like the voice of Inman Post 45 said in the previous game, football is king in the state of South Carolina, but the prince is baseball. And the Prince is underrated in this state. That's just one humble man's opinion, but there's a lot of data to support that. It'll be a three-man umpire crew for this 4 o'clock game. This is the second game of the day. The nightcap will be the winners bracket. The only two teams left with an unblemished record, and that is Rock Hill Post 34 and Florence Post 1. Going to have the national anthem, the code of sportsmanship, and we'll be ready to play baseball after we take this short time out on the We Are Football Broadcasting Network. We've had the starting lineups. We've had the code of sportsmanship. We've had the national anthem. Ladies and gentlemen, you know what that means. It is time for the greatest words in all of sports, play ball between Richland Post 215 and Sumter Post 15 from just up the road. Actually, both of these teams not too far away from what they call home here in the friendly confines of Sparrow Stadium. There is a ceremonial first pitch. Winner of this game will advance to tomorrow afternoon at 4 o'clock. We will take on Camden Post 17 as they defeated Inman earlier this afternoon by a final score of 10-5. Appreciate you making us a part of your Friday afternoon. Hope everybody's doing well. Thank you for tuning in and your support of American Legion Baseball here in the beautiful state of South Carolina. The coaches will meet with the umpires, and let me run through the starting lineups once again. First for Richland Post 215, who is the road team here this afternoon. Leading off will be the shortstop, Cooper Revels. Left fielder, Rentz Best, will bat second. Carew Bates, the center fielder, bats third. Julian Scott, second baseman, will bat cleanup. Evan Smith at third, bats fifth. Batting sixth, the first baseman, Andrew Peck. Batting seventh, Matthew Moore, the designated hitter. Batting eighth, catcher, Rucker Brandon. Batting ninth, Caleb Gibson. In right field, the pitcher is number 27, Austin Laughlin. Now your defense for the P-15s from Sumter, South Carolina. Your outfield from left to right will be Davis Campbell, Jay-Sean Benbow, and Wyatt Meldrum. Your infield, third baseman is Clayton Goff. Your shortstop is Bryce Coulter. The second baseman is Dubose Rimbert. The first baseman is Hayden Lyons. Your catcher is Gavin Rivers. And the pitcher for Sumter this afternoon is Chase Denton. So people are piling on to YouTube. Appreciate that very much. Sorry about the technical difficulties in the game before this one. Basically, it became a matrix type situation here in the press box, and it messed with the audio and it messed with the video. Hopefully, Lord willing and the creek don't rise, we have solved those issues. It is 94 degrees. And down on the field, there is little to no wind. The American flag out in right field is rustling in the breeze. But when you're down on the field, you don't feel a thing. Nothing. So these guys are going to play in the sweltering heat. So endurance will be a part of this. Also, hydration a big part of this. And this is when you talk about the schedule and you look at what these two teams have had to do to get to this game here on a Friday afternoon at 4 o'clock. The P-15s, they had to play Florence on Wednesday night. They lost to Florence post 1 by a final score of 7-1. Richland post 215 has had to scratch and claw and fight to get here. They've survived not one elimination game, not two elimination games, but three of them. They had to go to Greer and win twice. They accomplished it. They held on against Greenwood. They won that game. But then earlier this week, unfortunately, were defeated at Inman by a final score of 10-0. So that's why this is an elimination game. Unfortunately, the losers of this game, their season will come to an end. Still a lot to be proud of. To just get to the state tournament isn't accomplished in and of itself. Sumter P-15s, you can wax poetic for days at a time about the history of that program and Riley Park in Sumter, South Carolina, and what that team means to that community. But you can't overlook the fellows from Richland Post 215. You talk about those Columbia area kids, quote unquote. You've got Irmo, Dreer, AC Flora, Hammond, Richland Northeast, Ben Lippen, Spring Valley, on and on it goes as Sumter will head out onto the field to play defense. Their jerseys are that American flag design. Hope nobody asks me about substitutions later on in the game because even with binoculars, this is going to be quite the chore to tell you about any kind of substitutions that go on. Here in the second game of the day, and it's just game 2 of 3 that is set for this afternoon as Richland will take on the P-15s of Sumter, which is interesting because Sumter's color scheme is royal blue and red. The American flag obviously has the navy blue and red design. So something interesting there, something to keep in the back of your mind as Sumter will take the field with the gray pants. Richland post 215 with the Columbia blue, Citadel blue, Carolina blue. You know what blue I'm talking about, that light baby blue. The same color of my daughter's eyes. Miss Claire Turner, who is down at the College of Charleston, a little braggadocious about my child who just made the president's list at the College of Charleston. So I think anytime your youngin accomplishes that, you have the right to brag in that situation. Thank God she turned out like her mother. First pitch of the ball game swung on and popped up a mile high into left center field, coming over into the gap as the center fielder, and one pitch and one out. Didn't even get a chance to tell you who the leading batter or the leadoff man was going to be. It was Cooper Revels, but he flies out to the center fielder for Sumter, which is Jay Sean Bimbow. Pitch. Something off speed and in the front door, but low. To Rence Best. Rence. Pitch. Same spot, same result. 2 balls and no strikes. 4:04 p.m., the official start time. That pitch swung on and missed. The fastball above the hands. 94 degrees. Get that all over you. The 2-1. Outside corner at the knees with a fastball. 2-2 to Rence Best. I'll do my best to put the score in the chat room as we go through each half inning. The pitch swung on and fouled back our way. Sparrow Stadium, a very spacious ballpark. If you're looking at the screen, it's 58 feet from home plate to the backstop. You heard me right, 58 feet, the 2-2. Swung on and popped up on the infield. Who wants it? The shortstop is calling off everybody, but the second baseman will race in and make the catch for out number 2. Recording the out will be Dubose Rimpert. That'll take care of Rence Best. 2 up and 2 down for Carew Bates. And this game has started eerily similar to the game previous to this, where Inman went very quietly in the top half of the first, and then Camden went nuts. Pitch, breaking ball right down Tom Hall Street for strike one. Pitch, fastball high and outside. 2 balls and a strike to Carew Bates. Pitch, swung on and fouled out of play. Carew Bates out of AC Flora. The Falcons. The 2-2. Swung on, and this one is whistled out of play, foul to the right. Pitch swung on and a rifle shot deep left center field. I don't think anybody's going to get this one. It's going to bang off the warning track and go all the way to the wall, coming around first and hobbling as he hit the first base bag awkwardly as Carew Bates. When he hit the first base bag, it looked like his ankle or knee kind of twisted a little bit, and he had a hitch in his giddy up going from first to second. He hit that first base bag, and you can actually look down at first base and see a little change in the coloration. That's where he hit the bag awkwardly. But it's a 2-out double for Bates. That ball landed on the warning track. The warning track in this ballpark is 12 feet from the spot that it starts to the wall, which is an 8-foot high wall. The pitch, fastball high and inside for ball one to the cleanup batter, Julian Scott. 400 to dead center, 330 down the lines, 375 to the alleys. 58 feet worth of foul territory until you get 100 feet down each line. Then it drops dramatically. That pitch whistled by the first base coach for Richland, post 215. Once you get about 100 feet down each line, about a 45-degree angle, that will guide into 13 feet worth of foul territory as you get to the foul poles. One ball and one strike to Julian Scott. That pitch, breaking ball off the outside corner. That pitch swung on and missed. Oh, he had some bad intentions with that swing. Whew. Boy howdy. He saw that right. He saw that American flag in right field and said, "Hey, let me take a gander at it." The 2-2 swung on and roped into right field. It's going to drop for a base hit, getting a late stop sign around third is Carew Bates. The back-to-back base knocks by Richland. They've got runners at the corners for the 5-hole hitter, Evan Smith. So after getting the first 2 outs relatively easily, the pitcher for Sumter, Chase Denton, having to work hard now. That pitch stays high. And you saw Corbin Childers for Inman in the first game today. Had to labor in the first inning, had to throw 30 pitches, and there was a fake throw. They're going to call that a balk. That is a balk. You cannot fake. You have to throw the ball to the bag, and it's 1-0 Richland. That will be called a balk. When you fake a throw like that and there's an occupied base and you don't throw the baseball in that situation, it's a balk. And now Coach Twitty is going to come out and argue the point. So 1-0 Richland is the score. I don't think the decision will get overturned. And now the conversation in the middle of the diamond has become a little animated. And now the other umpire will join the conversation. To me, if I understand the rule correctly, that was the deal. He faked the throw to third, but didn't actually throw the baseball. And I think you have to actually throw that baseball. And he didn't. So it's 1-0 Richland, the score. Pitch from Benton. Here it comes. There it goes. It's a worm burner to the shortstop. He'll glove it, throw to first in time, and that, my friends, will retire the side. However, a run on 2 hits, no errors, and 1 left on base. We head to the bottom of the first inning. Richland 1, Sumter Post 15-0. Back in a moment here on the We Are Fort Moore Broadcasting Network. Headed to the bottom of the first inning. Richland leads at 1-0. Going to give you the defense for Richland Post 15 in just a second. So the defense for Richland Post 215, wearing the baby blue jerseys, they shape up like this. The pitcher will be Austin Laughlin. The catcher for Richland will be Rucker Brandon. The infield, third baseman Evan Smith. Your shortstop, Cooper Revel. Second baseman, Julian Scott. The first baseman, Andrew Peck. Your outfield from left to right is Rents Best, Carew Bates, and last but certainly not least, Caleb Gibson. And leading it off for Sumter, Post 15, will be Dubose Rimbert. The pitch, fastball just off the outside corner for ball 1. That pitch swung on and missed. Violent hack there from Rimbert. That pitch swung on and a worm burner to the shortstop. He will glove it. He will throw to first. 1 up and 1 down. That'll bring up Jayshawn Bimbow. So righty on righty here. Jayshawn batting an even 400 on the season. This just in, that's pretty good. That breaking ball all the way to the backstop. Team batting average for Sumter P15's 305. Ridiculous. Pitch to Bim Then Bow, that one is swung on and fouled off right of the leg of the catcher. Whoa. Went where there's no padding. It looked like it caught him on the back of the leg or the side of the leg. And now Rucker Brandon going to have to shake that off a little bit. Goodness. They put a ball on the board, but I think that ball was fouled off. I think it should be 1-1. But Brandon is going to stay in the game, going to tough it out. Jay Sean with an on-base percentage of .560. That pitch swung on and fouled right back to the screen in front of us. His OPS is ridiculous, 1.126. He's the two-hole hitter, and he has 12 RBIs. Pitch. He looks at strike three right on the outside corner. Pulled the string on him, and Jay Sean could not pull the trigger. 2 up and 2 down for Clayton Goff. So now it's righty on lefty. Goff, more of a traditional stance, waggles that bat way above the ear hole, swings at the first offering, and a high fly ball into left field. Galloping into the gap and squeezing it for out number 3 is Carew Bates. And 1-2-3 goes Sumter in the bottom of the first. We played one complete here at Sparrow Stadium. Your score, Richland 1 and Sumter nothing. Back in a moment on the We Are Fort Worth Broadcasting Network. We head to inning number 2 here at Francis Marion, Florence, South Carolina. A huge thank you to the Ham family, but that is my friend Gerald's mom and dad. They live in this beautiful city, and they've allowed me to stay with them for these next few nights. So had some homemade spaghetti last night. Woke up this morning to sausages and bacon and scrambled eggs. Well fed and spoiled rotten to the absolute core. Swung on and missed for strike 1 to the leadoff man, Andrew Peck. Pitch swung on a little tapper going up the first base line, but it will go foul before the catcher can grab it. Richland scored that first run of the game on a balk. You don't see that very often. And I did see clarification between innings with the official score, and the ruling was you have to throw the baseball to the occupied base at third. He did not, thus the balk. The pitch, fastball stays high. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Andrew Peck. It'll be Matthew Moore and then Rucker Brandon to follow. Partly cloudy skies. The pitch, that is something off speed. It looks like it caught the corner, but I'm going to guess it was a little bit low. Outstanding tape from Peck. The pitch swung on and popped up a mile high. Shallow left field over near the line comes Jay Sean, and he will squeeze it for out number 1. I beg your pardon. Bryce Coulter was the one who flashed over and made the catch. So 1 up and 1 down for Matthew Moore. Very spacious ballpark. There's a lot of room in this bad boy. That pitch is swung on and popped up, but it will reach the stands. Third base side, bang. Against the aluminum bleachers. It caroms up the walkway onto the club level. Oh, the 0-1 swung on, and this one's popped up. Very similar position. Heads up over there as people are walking. That one, too, lands about 10 feet from where the other one landed. No balls and 2 strikes to Matthew Moore. Kicks and fires that fastball off the outside corner. Wanted to see if Matthew would expand his zone a little bit, but nope. Benton delivers again. That pitch is swung on, a little looper over his head. Going to have to be gloved quickly. Throw to first. Got him. Nice play by the second baseman, Dubose Rembert. 2 up and 2 down for the catcher, Rucker Brandon. That ball came off the bat. It was trouble. It was a one hopper, but it caromed over the outstretched arms of Benton. But the second baseman charging. His throw was up the first baseline a little bit, but nice stretch by the first baseman. Nice play all the way around for Sumter. That pitch, fastball outside corner at the knees for strike 1. Appreciate y'all making us a part of your Friday afternoon. Hope everybody's doing well wherever you may be across the fruited plains. That pitch is in the dirt. A ball and a strike to Rucker Brandon. Nobody on, 2 down. 1-0. Richland is the score. The pitch swung on and roped in the deep left field, but the left fielder says he's got a beat on it, and he does. And 1-2-3 goes Richland in the top half of the second inning. We head to the bottom half. Score remains Richland 1 and Sumter 0 here in the 2023 South Carolina American Legion Senior Baseball Championships here on the We Are Football Broadcasting Network. Into the bottom of inning number 2. 1-0 Richland with the slimmest of leads. Austin Laughlin still on the bump for the fellas from the Midlands. That do appear for Sumter are going to be 4, 5, and 6 in the order. Bryce Coulter, Davis Campbell, Hayden Lyons. A run on 2 hits, no errors for Richland. Nothing but zeros across for the P-15s from Sumter, South Carolina. 3-man umpiring crew, a very experienced group of umpires in the first 2 games of the day. There will be a nightcap at 7 o'clock-ish as the 2 teams that have a 0 in the loss column will battle it out. Florence post 1 against Rock Hill post 34. The 2021 state champion against your 2022 state champion. Good luck with all that. Here comes Bryce Coulter to get it started for the P-15s. Laughlin will kick and fire. That fastball misses low and outside for ball 1. Bryce Coulter, stocky young man. That pitch missed low, 2 balls and no strikes. They list him at 6'2 and 210. That's a pretty good size For a middle linebacker in high school football in this here state. That 2-0 fastball high and inside. 3 balls and no strikes to the leadoff man here in the bottom of the second. And if you have a one-run lead, you don't want to go giving a free pass to the leadoff guy. You're going to put the tying run on base. And we saw that happen in the first game of the day. Inman gave free pass after free pass, and Campton made them pay. And that pitch off the inside corner and a 4-pitch walk is how the bottom of the second inning will begin. So Coulter will jog down to first, and that'll bring up left fielder Davis Campbell. Thank you, everybody who watched game number 1 of the day. Again, apologies for the technical difficulties. Hopefully, we have remedied those. I sincerely hope. Here's Campbell. Stands right on top of the plate, but he's in the front of the box. Something you don't see a lot of these days. He's going to bunt. Bunt right to the third baseman. Bunt it too hard. He'll glove it, throw to first in time. That was bunting for a base hit, but it will go as a sacrifice. And moving up 90 feet will be Bryce Coulter. 1 down for Hayden Lyons. Squared around the bunt, but that one bunted a little too hard. If he takes the steam out of that one a little bit, makes the third baseman kind of come in and make an all-or-nothing play, a Chipper Jones-ish type play, if you will. Could have made that a little bit harder. So a runner in scoring position for another stocky young man, Hayden Lyons, another right-hander for the P-15s from Sumter. Walton will take a peek at the runner at second, but come plateward, I would imagine. And now time is going to be called right before he goes into the delivery. And now the coach for Sumter comes down the third base line. And I think that's exactly what they were asking. The home plate umpire was like, hey, wait, the batter for Sumter is the one who called timeout. Richland did call the timeout. Sumter did. Pitch swung on and rooped in the deep center field. The center fielder's not going to get this one. This is going to hit the grass and roll the wall coming around third to score the tying run as Bryce Coulter. Hitting the bag at second with an RBI double is Hayden Lyons. And ladies and gentlemen, we have a brand new ball game. It's 1 apiece. And that ball was a rocket. And as soon as that center fielder turned his back to the infield, you knew it was on. So Lyons will trade places with Coulter. Here's the catcher, Gavin Rivers. Pitch from Laughlin. Fastball high and outside for ball 1. Again, Sumter wearing the American flag jerseys, even though their color scheme is a royal blue with red. But I like it. Very colorful. From a broadcaster's perspective, not all that great because you can't see the number. I was up close to them and had a hard time seeing the numbers. Pitch from Laughlin comes inside and hits him in the ear hole. Holy smokes. And he is going to shake that off, and Mr. Rivers is going to jog down to first base. That'll be a hit by pitch. He tried to duck out of the way of it, and the ball chased him, and it looked like it just kissed off his ear flap. So first and second now for Sumter for the designated hitter, Carson Todd. So if you're Richland, I would imagine you'd bring the corner infielders. Third baseman, I would imagine, would play even with the bag. First baseman should be playing behind the runner at first, and that's what will happen. Middle infielders are going to look for 2 here. As the P-15s try to take their first lead of the game. Laughlin becoming methodical. The pitch, fastball off the outside corner. Beautiful Cornell Field, Sparrow Stadium, home of Francis Marion. There was a minor league team that called this home for a little while, and the Stingers of Florence Darlington Tech. 1-0 That one goes all the way to the backstop and it bangs off that concrete and caroms all the way back to the catcher, Rucker Brandon. Now, the backstop is 58 feet behind home plate, but it is a padded backstop, but there's about 6 inches of concrete below the padding to where the warning track begins. That ball banged off the concrete, but it will still go as a wild pitch, and now second and third for Sumter, and that'll bring a visit to the mound. So the conversation on the bump has subsided. Sorry, I had to take a little bit of a break there. My mother sent me a text. When mama calls, you should answer, even when you're working. Bring up Carson Todd, the designated hitter for Sumter. The pitch, inside corner, but missed low. Laughlin in the soup, as they say. The pitch, that fastball is high and outside the zone, and that's ball four. And now the bases are loaded. There's ducks on the pond for the 9-hole hitter, Wyatt Meldrum. Another stocky young man for Sumter. And a pitch from Laughlin. Fastball almost came inside and hit him. We're tied at one here in the bottom of the second, but Sumter threatening. They got the bases jacked and only one down. One ground ball could retire the side. One swing of the War Club could put up a crooked number. That pitch off the inside corner. Laughlin thought it was good enough, but the home plate umpire, who strikes on, by the way, in case anybody's wondering, very similar to the umpire in the first game strike zone. True to the box, if you will. You want to think about it that way. 2 balls and no strikes to Meldrum. The pitch from Laughlin off the inside corner, and it's 3 balls and no strikes. If Meldrum can keep the line moving, we'll go back to the top of the order and the ever dangerous Dubose Rimbert. The pitch off the inside corner, ball 4, and Sumter takes the lead 2-1. Give Meldrum an RBI. Trotting home to score will be Hayden Lyons. So the bases remain loaded. Still only 1 out for the aforementioned Rimbert. Rimbert 0 for 1 with a ground out to short. Fastball outside corner at the knees. What a pitch from Laughlin. Going to square around a bunt. They offer at it, and he comes up empty for strike 2. And the runner from third was making a beeline for the dish. That could have been disaster for Sumter. pitch. Swung on and missed. Fastball and just blew it right past DuBose Rembert. That is the second strikeout for Laughlin. A huge out. Bases remain loaded, but two down for Jayshawn Bimbo. He struck out, swinging last half inning, last inning, I should say. That fastball off the outside corner. And Laughlin living dangerously. He's fallen behind almost every batter so far. At least in this second inning, he has. Bases full of P15s. It's 2-1 Sumter. Laughlin comes to the belt, comes plateward. The pitch swung on and a little looper. Third baseman's got to go back. He can't make the catch. It's a fair ball. Coming home to score will be Lyons. Right behind him is Rivers. They got the runner hung up between third and home. He will be tagged out. The putout will go 5-2-1, and that will retire the side. But the runs do count. It'll be a 2 RBI single for Jayshawn, and the score will be 4-1. Yeah. So the 2 runs will score before the out was recorded. So give Bimbo an RBI single, and then being tagged out was Carson Todd. So we head to the third inning. Boy, has this game changed on a dime. For Sumter in that half inning, 4 runs on the back of 2 base hits, no errors, and in the end, 2 left on. We had the third inning. Sumter 4 and Richland 1. Back in a moment on the We Are Football Broadcasting Network. All right, you crazy kids, we're headed off to the top of the third inning. Everybody's trying to catch their breath and try to put that last play in their book. I took a wild stab at it and was close. I was close. The putout will go 5-2-6. So put that one in your scorebook. Give Jayshawn a base hit. Give him 2 ribbies. And Sumter leads it 4-1. 8 batters at that bottom of the second inning. Boy, howdy. Give a run scored, by the way, to Rivers and to Todd. Meldrum was the young man who got hung out to dry. So the leadoff batter here for post 215 is going to be Caleb Gibson, a 9-hole hitter. Then back to the top of the order, Cooper Revels and Rentz Best. The pitch swung on and a worm burner to the second baseman. He'll glove it, throw to first, 1 pitch, 1 out. Back to the top of the order, Cooper Revels. Revels 0 for 1. Blew off the center field to lead off the ball game, and that changeup is on the outside corner at the knees for a strike. There's nobody on and 2 outs, and that's when Richland went to work. Back-to-back base hits and then a balk. He took a 1-0 lead. That pitch is swung on and roped into right field. Coming in to make a nice running catch is the right fielder for Sumter, Wyatt Meldrum. And just like that, there are 2 outs. That'll bring up left fielder Rentz Best. Rentz is 0 for 1, popped out to second base. pitch is swung on and foul back. Both teams have 2 base hits, but Sumter has 4 runs to Richland's 1, and completing the pitch is Chase Benton, even after time was called by Best. Pitch from Chase, swung on and roped down the left field line, but it'll take a left turn and go foul. No balls and 2 strikes to Rent's Best. Young man out of AC Flora. That pitch outside the zone, off the outside corner, a ball and 2 strikes. Nobody on, 2 outs. 4-1 is the score here in the top of the third on a very hot but gorgeous day in Florence, South Carolina. The pitch swung on and fouled back to the screen. It'll stay a ball and 2 strikes. I cannot say enough good things about this facility. It is amazing. $11.1 million. It's a decade old. It is gorgeous. When I pulled up this morning, it looked like some kind of vacation spot with a fountain out front. Amazing. The pitch inside corner, but I'm going to guess a little off the corner. 2-2 to count. Got a concrete walkway with brick, aluminum stands with the actual blue seats below us. The pitch swung on and popped up a mile high, but it will reach the seats over the third base dugout. I'll say this, the TV and radio booth is double the size of most that you'll go to. For a D2 school, this is amazing. Truly amazing. I have been to minor league ballparks that aren't this nice. Honestly, it's that nice. Is it a long way from home? Sure. But you know what? If this is the view I have to look at, count me in. The pitch, fastball high and inside, 3-2 is the count. And again, this home plate umpire, very similar to the gentleman in the first game of the day, very true to the box. That pitch outside corner, call strike 3, he gone. And 1-2-3 goes Richland in the top of the third. We head to the bottom half of the third. Score remains Sumter 1 and Richland 1. You're watching and listening to the 2023 South Carolina American Legion Senior Baseball Championships from Florence, South Carolina, here on the We Are Fulton Mill Broadcasting Network. Back in a moment. Moving merrily along here at Sparrow Stadium, Cornell Field, home of the Patriots. Beautiful Florence, South Carolina. Richland post 215 and was talking to their coaching staff before the game, and you just got the feeling that they felt like, hey, people are saying we're not supposed to be here. That is the most dangerous team that you will face. A caged animal that thinks that you don't, that believes in their heart that other people don't think they deserve to be here. Richland does deserve to be here. They have taken the long, winding, and very difficult road to get to this game. They survived 3 elimination games to get here. Let that marinate for a second. Laughlin out to the mound for another inning of work for Richland. And the leadoff batter will be Clayton Goff. And Mr. Goff will look at the first pitch for ball 1. A run on 2 hits, no errors for Richland. 4 runs, 2 hits, no errors for Sumter. Pitch from Laughlin. Swung on and fouled off the top of his foot. Oh, that'll give you butterflies for a little while. Be Goff, Coulter, and Campbell 3, 4, and 5 for the P-15s. Had a chance to talk to Coach Lyons and Coach Twitty for the game today. Very nice. Anytime the coaching staffs take the time out to talk to some idiot broadcaster like myself and give us a little bit of information that we can use on the air, we're always grateful for that. As we know, before a game, coaches don't like to be bothered. That pitch, did he check his swing? No, sir, he did not. Pitch from Laughlin, swung on and miss. Very defensive swing from Clayton Goff. That will be strikeout number 3 for Laughlin. They'll bring up Bryce Coulter. He walked to start the second inning, and he came around to score the first run of the game for Sumter. I want to say hello to a friend of mine who's been very helpful to me over the past few years, Mike Ritchie, athletic director of Florence Post 1. A nice guy, big heart, and he's helped this idiot broadcaster many times. I'm very, very grateful. The pitch off the outside corner for ball 2. I will forever remember the 2021 season. And Mike, in case you're wondering, that stuff that came from Pelham, Alabama is in my sports room. I've never worn it. It's hanging on the wall. That pitch off the outside corner, 3-0. I'm one of these people that I don't sell merchandise, but anytime I have an event that I go to, I like to get some piece of it, a baseball, a bat, a lineup card, something, because it just litters the wall in my sports room. Just memories. That pitch bangs in there for a strike, 3-1 to count. Florence was the 2021 state champions and finished runner-up in the Southeast Regional in 2021 down in Pelham, Alabama. That pitch in there for a strike, 3-2 the count, which is the birthplace of one William Christopher, but most people call him Dabo Sweeney. Go Tigers. The 3-2 pitch. Outside corner, check to swing, and it's called ball 4. And the catcher thought it was strike 3. He threw it down the first, but it'll be ball 4. I know they're going to call that strike 3. No, they're calling him out. But the home plate umpire never made a signal. He never banged him out. But that'll go as a strikeout. Wow. Okay. Usually the home plate umpire has to make that fist or some sort of signal to tell everybody, hey, that's strike 3, but he didn't do it. Very strange. Very, very strange. Nonetheless, 2 up and 2 down for Davis Campbell. The pitch to Davis is whistled foul over to our right near a picnic area. Folks, you're watching from the comforts of your home, and I really do appreciate it, but let me tell you something. There are a lot more people in the ballpark than it might look like, but they're all in the shade somewhere. The 0-1, fastball high and inside, 1-1 the count. There's a lot of people here, but they ain't sitting in the sun. They're on the club level. They've meandered into the press box where the AC is on full blast. The pitch, breaking ball right in the front door, 1-2 the count. Although there is a certain crew that has opened a window in the press box, even though it's 94 degrees and the air conditioner is on full blast. I never have understood that. Now tonight, when the temperature drops by about 15 degrees, boy howdy, I'll open this glass. But until then, I'm an old man. I need to be somewhere around 75 degrees. The pitch swung on and missed. It was actually dropped. And Brand will throw to first, and that will retire the side. And actually, Laughlin struck out the side. So very easily goes Sumter in the bottom of the third. We head to the fourth. Score remains Sumter 4 and Richland 1. Back in a moment on the We Are Fort Moore Broadcasting Network. So I want to give everybody a correction. Actually, the score is 3-1. When the bases were loaded, they did check with the two teams and only accounted for the one run, not the second. So your score is Sumter 3 and Richland 1. So apologies for that. Want to make sure everybody knows. So we head to the top of the fourth, and the first pitch is swung on by Beck and hit high in the air, shallow right field. Coming over a few steps will be Wyatt Meldrum. He'll squeeze it for out number 1. And how many times, folks, in this game has a batter gone after the first pitch? And the pitch swung on and a worm burner to the shortstop. He's got it. Off balance throw to first is perfect. And very quickly, 2 down. That'll bring up the third baseman, Evan Smith. So adjust the RBI earlier in the game. It is 3-1, not 4-1. Again, apologies for that. The pitch for Benton, that changeup hits the outside corner at the knees for strike 1. Benton delivers very quickly. He does not have a whole lot of wasted motion in that windup. Peers over his glove, Andy Pettit like. The 1-1 breaking ball outside corner at the knees, and he had a big grin on his face, and he should have. He cranked off a very nasty Uncle Charlie. It's 1-2. Pitch. Fastball off the outside corner. 2 balls, 2 strikes. To Evan Smith. Young man from AC Flora swings at the next offering and fouls it off third base side, and he'll stay alive at 2-2. Richland made up AC Flora, Richland Northeast, Dreer, Ben Lippen, Spring Valley, Irmo. That pitch outside corner at the knees called strike 3. Second strikeout of the day for Chase Benton, and that, my friends, will retire the side. Moving along quickly. We head to the bottom of the fourth inning. Your score is Sumter 3 and Richland 1. Back in a moment on the We Are Fort Moore Broadcasting Network. right, you crazy kids. Headed off to the bottom of the fourth inning. Speaking of baseball and crazy kids, happy anniversary to one Greg Pendarvis, legendary head coach of Fort Mill High School, the head coach of the Jackets, 2002 4A state champions. His wife has tolerated him for 33 years. Also, happy belated anniversary to my broadcast buddy Elton Chapman and his lovely better half. And last but certainly not least, happy birthday to Gracie Hartsoe, the athletic director of Fort Mill High School, Dwayne Hartsoe's daughter. She is a rising junior, I believe, at Clemson. Headed to the bottom of the fourth. Laughlin still on mound. That pitch is swung on and popped up straight up the chute, going out into shallow left field, but calling off everybody and coming in to make the catch will be Best. That was Hayden Lyons, who just popped out, by the way. Again, one pitch and one out. And it's not just one team, ladies and gentlemen. It's both sides. And for some reason, they're just not being patient. The pitch right down Tom Hall Street with the changeup at the knees. It's 0-1. Tom Hall Street is in the heart of downtown Fort Mill, South Carolina, that I call home. I was born and raised in Greenville, South Carolina, but spent most of my life in the mill town of Fort Mill. The pitch bounces up there, goes all the way to the backstop. But my mother still resides in Greenville, South Carolina. In fact, she checked on me just a bit ago. I've not been in good health as of late. So, mother, don't care how old you get, folks. Your mama, you're still their little kid. That pitch, breaking ball off the outside corner. 2 balls and a strike is the count to Gavin Rivers. That pitch bounces up there, gets away from the catcher, but that's only ball 3. I think Mr. Rivers was trying to politic his way into ball 4. One of the teams in tonight's star-studded matchup is in the ballpark. That would be the hometown boys of Florence Post 1. They're in the yard. That pitch swung on and missed. Had a home run cut at a changeup on the outside corner. It's 3-2. Derek Urquhart's fellas, they are down the right field line of the picnic area. 3-2. Swung. Oh, it hit the kid on the on-deck circle. It hit his helmet. He ducked his head, and it caromed off the crown of his helmet. And now he's picking up the on-deck circle and dragging it closer to the dugout. Oh, he's having fun with it, but everybody comes to check on him. Carson Todd. What a response by Todd, though. Yeah, it clipped him on the top of his helmet is what the coach is saying. And in a moment of comedy, he just took it very lightly, picked up the green maritime carpet, the on-deck circle, and said, all right, forget that. He moved it about 6 feet closer to the dugout. Oh, kid's got a sense of humor. I like it. But obviously, we hope nobody gets hurt. But wow, a moment like that, and the kid just makes fun of the entire situation. He's getting high fives from his teammate and even Coach Twitty with a smile on his face. So, boys will be boys. 3 balls and 2 strikes to Gavin Rivers. The pitch from Laughlin. Here it comes. Swung on, and here's a little Texas leaguer into right field for a base hit. Base hit number 3 for the P-15s of Sumter. So a 1-out base runner. We'll bring up the designated hitter, Carson Todd. Thank you all for making us a part of your Friday afternoon. Hope everybody's doing well. Hope everybody had a great week. It has certainly been an eventful week. Very eventful. A lot of fireworks this week in South Carolina American Legion Baseball. The pitch high and outside for ball 1, not just at the senior level, but also the junior level. And now there's a warning to the dugout. And I think I know what it is. There's a gentleman in the dugout who's not affiliated with the team, and I think he's going to have to exit stage left. Or is it? No, I beg your pardon. I have to take that back. It'll be a warning issued to a coach who came off the bench and had some sweet nothings to say to the home plate umpire. So that will go as a warning. So a runner at first for the P15s and only one out here in beautiful Sparrow Stadium. And now throw over to first. That'll chase the base runner Gavin Rivers back to the bag. So this is not South Carolina High School League rules. So even though the catcher is at first base, there's no courtesy runner for him. Huge gap in right center field. Laughlin, the pitch, fastball high, 2-0 is the count. The center fielder is about 12 steps into the gap left center field. And the umpire is saying it's 1-0. I think he's saying that the first pitch of the at-bat did not count. I think time had been called before the pitch was delivered. He says it's 1-0. And that's the man in charge, so enough said. Fastball outside, corner above the knees. That is a perfect pitch from Laughlin. A ball and a strike to Carson Todd. He walked back in the second inning. There's another throw over to first. 94 degrees. We had partly cloudy skies. There's some haziness off in the distance to our right, but nothing but beautiful blue Carolina skies off in the distance. The 1-1 check to swing on a fastball. They appeal. No swing, says the gentleman. In the middle of the diamond, 2 balls and a strike is the count. Appreciate y'all tuning in this afternoon wherever you may be across the fruited plains. Really appreciate all your support of these wonderful players and coaches. The stars of the show, as it were. The 2-1 from Laughlin. Fastball outside corner at the knees, taken for a strike. We're in the bottom of inning number 4. The score is 3-1. There's another thrower to first. And here's the thing about it is Gavin Rivers is not taking a liberal lead over there. A lot of coaches you'll see 7, 9, 11, and 13, right? He's around 9. But for some reason, Laughlin just will not let him get that far off the bag. The 2-2 to Todd. Swung on and ripped through the hole, left side, base hit. A pitch on the outer half, and Carson Todd said, well, thank you very much. It was up, caught too much of the plate, and got served into left field. That'll be base hit number 4 of the afternoon for the P15s. Runners at first and second, 1 down for the 9-hole hitter. That's right fielder Wyatt Meldrum. Sound like a broken record. Meldrum walked in the second inning. All 3 walks issued by Mr. Laughlin all occurred in the second inning. And now the coach for Sumter is about to lose his religion in the third base coach's box. What about? I do not know. Richland looking for a double play. Sumter looking for insurance. Fastball at the belt on the inside corner for a strike. And now the umps wearing the royal blue and red from Sumter are letting the gentleman behind the plate hear all about it. The 0-1 to Meldrum. Here it comes from Laughlin. Squares around a bunt, and the fastball goes all the way to the backstop on the fly. Holy smokes. That had to have been a cross-up between pitcher and catcher because the catcher was expecting something off speed. He got a fastball at the letters, and that one sailed all the way to the backstop. So that'll take the bunt away. Second and third now for Sumter and a 1-1 count to Meldrum. And you're starting to get the feeling that this could be the ball game right here. I know it's still early, bottom of the fourth, but you got to look at the score and the situation. Richland, that run and 2 hits both came in the first. They haven't done anything since. Pitch going to square around a bunt, bunts at first base side. Here comes the runner down the third base line. He will score, being tagged out on the 3 unassisted will be Meldrum. So they kept the bunt on, and it results in a run. Now it's 4-1. Rivers will score, give an RBI to Mr. Meldrum. So a runner at third, 2 down, back to the top of the order, and Dubose Rimbert. It was a safety squeeze basically there for the P-15s. The runner at third waited until the bunt got down, and then he took off the fastball right down the heart of the plate for a strike. Some people ask, what's the difference between a safety squeeze and a suicide squeeze? Well, slight difference, but a massive difference at the same time. That pitch outside the zone. The suicide squeeze is when the runner at third just comes barreling down the third base line as soon as the batter squares around. A safety squeeze, you wait for the bunt to actually get down, and then you take off. Slight difference, but in that situation, that bunt was so good, didn't matter. The 1-1 breaking ball gets through the wickets of the catcher. Coming home to score will be Todd, and Sumter is turning the screw on Richland. It's 5-1. Second wild pitch here in the fourth inning for Laughlin. Two balls and a strike. Now bases empty and 2 down. The pitch from Laughlin. Outside corner with the fastball. 2-2. To Dubose Rimbert, who's 0 for 2, uncharacteristically so. The pitch swung on and whistled foul. Right side heads up over there. And now time is called. Rimbert, batting average of .357 on the season. His OPS is a very respectable .926. Wow. The pitch, breaking ball just off the outside corner. The stat that jumped off the page to me for Dubose Rimbert, 12 stolen bases, hasn't been caught yet. That's pretty impressive. The 3-2 swung on and fouled off. Just got a piece of it. Open stance for Dubose. Pitch from Laughlin. Fastball high, ball 4. That'll be the 4th walk issued for Austin Laughlin and a 2-out base runner for Sumter. And that'll bring up Jayshawn Bimbo. But before he can bat, here comes a visit to the mound. And there is action in the Richland bullpen. So this could be the day for Laughlin. And the conversation is just between the coach, the pitcher, and the catcher. A run on 2 hits, no errors for Richland. 5 runs, 4 hits, no errors for the P-15s of Sumter. And for Laughlin, and I'm a little surprised that the coach didn't bring the hook with him, as I have to put my old man glasses on. Laughlin was 68 pitches, 35 strikes. Here's the rub. 3 wild pitches, 1 hit batter. He's faced 19. 3 2/3 innings, 4 hits, 5 runs, all earned, 4 walks, 5 strikeouts. And the inning will continue after that timeout. There's a snap throw to first, and that will chase Mr. Rimbert back to the first base pillow. Jay Sean 1 for 2. He's got a strikeout, but a 2 RBI single, which at the time gave Sumter their first lead of the game, which they still have, but it's now 5-1. It made it 2-1. The throw, and it gets by the first baseman. It's going to roll all the way into foul territory up the first base line, hitting the bag at second on his way to third, and he'll belly flop in. Is Dubose Rimbert. That'll go as an E1, the first error of the day on Richland. It's a 2-base error. So now Mr. Rimbert stands at third. And just keep in mind the wild pitches by Laughlin. An errant one here with this 58 feet behind home plate would be run number 6 for the P-15s. Laughlin, that pitch high and inside. And whatever action that was in the Richland bullpen has subsided. Pitch. Something off speed on the outside corner for a strike. Austin Laughlin really laboring now. That was pitch number 70. But in this half inning, I've got him around 27 pitches in just this half inning. Pitch swung on and popped up a mile high, but it's going to go foul. Heads up down below as it will bang onto the... And now it will carry him into the stands right in front of me here, where a gentleman saves a lady from getting banged right in the back of the noggin. Hit the roof of this facility and rolled back. A ball and 2 strikes to Jay-Sean Bimbo. Laughlin to the belt. Comes the 1-2 from Austin. High and inside. Deuces wild again. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. It's 5-1 Sumter here in the bottom of inning number 4. In the second game of the day, the elimination game. Loser goes home. The winner advances to tomorrow night to take on Camden. The pitch. That one goes all the way to the backstop, but it carries all the way back to the catcher. Doesn't matter. Rimbert is too quick for that. He will come home to score. 4th wild pitch of the day for Austin Laughlin, and it's 6-1 Sumter. And the ball hit that padding so hard that it just ricocheted all the way back to Rucker Brandon, who was standing right on top of the FM, the intertwined FM, the logo for Francis Marion. But the pitcher was late getting to home plate. So the 3-2 is low and inside, and that's a walk to Jay-Sean. And the coach for Richland, Coach Dorsey, is going to make that walk back out to the mound. That'll be the second visit, and that will mean a pitching change here for Richland post 2:15. So that'll be the day for Austin Laughlin. We'll see who the new twirler is for Richland. And it looks like it's going to be number 44 for the fellas from the Midlands. Look through the screens here. Number 44 is Nolan Cook. He is a Blue Devil from Dreer High School. Just graduated from Dreer. He is a left-hander. Cannot close the book on Laughlin, though, because the runner at first, Jay-Sean, is his responsibility. But the line scored to this point for Austin, 3 2/3 innings pitched, 4 hits, 6 runs, 5 earned, 5 walks, 5 strikeouts, 74 pitches, 37 strikes, 4 wild pitches, a hit batter, and faced 20. And some folks might be wondering, well, why stick with a guy who's really struggling to find the strike zone in an elimination game when you're in the middle innings? Well, the thing you have to keep in mind is this: Richland started their playoffs in inauspicious form. Uh, they started it by getting blanked by Greenwood. They got 10 run by Greer, 15-5 the next, or excuse me, they got blanked. Let me start all over. Good Lord. They blanked Greenwood, so they got off to a great start, but then got boat raced by Greer 15-5. Then they faced elimination game number 1. They defeated Greenwood 7-0. Then had to go to Greer and beat the Warhawks not once, but twice at historic Stevens Field in the heart of downtown Greer, South Carolina. But did. They beat the Warhawks 5-1 and then 10-0, but then had to play Tuesday night against Inman and lost 10-0. So think about that for a second. So you play on a Monday, you play on a Tuesday, you turn around and play again, and then you got to go to Stevens Field on a Saturday morning. And remember, it is not an easy ride from Richland to Greer, South Carolina, and then turn around and have to play Inman. That's the reason. You only have so many arms, and there's only 18 spots for a playoff roster. So the first pitch from Mr. Cook is swung on and fouled off by Clayton Goff. Now, of course, I'm not part of the coaching staff at Richland, nor will I pretend to be. Those gentlemen have forgotten more baseball than I've ever learned. But the point remains is when you get to this point of a playoff run and you've played that many games, this is their 7th game. Let that marinate for a second. Their 7th playoff game. Runner takes off for second. The pitch is swung on and popped up. Shallow center field coming in, still coming in, will be Carew Bates. He will squeeze it, and that will retire the side. However, for Sumter, they scored 3 times, 2 base hits, 1 error, 2 left on. 1 left on, beg your pardon. We head to the 5th inning. A lot of work to do for Richland. They trail Sumter 6-1. You're watching and listening to the 2023 South Carolina American Legion Senior Baseball Championships from Sparrow Stadium in Florence, South Carolina, here on the We Are Formal Broadcasting Network. Back in a bit. We head to the top of the 5th here in Florence, South Carolina. Chase Benton back out on the bump for Sumter. And the first pitch to Mr. Andrew Peck is a fastball outside the zone for ball 1. Chase Benton working quickly as he has the entire day. That changeup too far inside. And very quickly, 2 balls and no strikes to Andrew Peck, who's 0 for 1 today. That breaking ball is in the front door for a strike. Peck not expecting that based off of his response. Benton kicks and fires. That pitch is swung on and a ground ball to the second baseman. Off balance throw to first. Nice play. Nicely done by Dubose Rembert. Had to go to his right, turn his shoulders, and fire to first, and that's what he did. 1 up and 1 down for the designated hitter, Matthew Moore. First pitch to Matthew Moore, swung on and missed. Had a home run cut and came up empty. No balls and a strike to Mr. Moore. 0 for 1, a ground out to Mr. Rembert at second base. Swung on and missed. Quickly 0 2. 1 run, 2 hits, no errors for Richland. 6 runs, 4 hits, no errors for Sumter. Pitch, swung on and hit foul and out of play left side. Benton kicks and fires. Fastball high and outside the zone. A ball and 2 strikes to Matthew Moore. Top of the 5th, it's all Sumter. They lead Richland 6-1. The winner will advance to tomorrow afternoon at 4 o'clock and will take on Camden. The pitch, swung on and foul back to the screen. Camden defeated Inman earlier today by a final score of 10-5. And the nightcap is Rock Hill against Florence, the last 2 state champions. Can you hear the excitement in my voice? Can't wait for that one. It's 2-2. No disrespect to the guys playing this game, but boy howdy, Florence and Rock Hill, both with a goose egg in the loss column. The 2021 champion against the 2022 champion. Let's do it. That pitch is swung on and popped up foul territory, and the plethora of territory was enough to keep the ball in play, but not enough time for the fielders to get to it. Derek Urquhart's fellas wearing the Cardinal against the Baby Blue, and Jeremy McCoy's Rock Hill Post 34. Good times. Pitch from Benton. Call strike 3, got him. Inside corner with the changeup, and it froze him. Leo. Leo was on. 2 balls and no strikes. The gentleman to my left from Sumter were trying to remember the pitching coach for the Braves in their heyday. That pitch off the outside corner at the knees. Leo Mazzoni, who used to sit there and rock back and forth. Pitch from Benton. Looked a little bit off the outside corner. And again, the umpire behind the plate, he's gotten ribbed pretty hard about his strike zone. But his strike zone has been consistent all day long. And it's very similar to the gentleman's in the first game. The pitch swung on, chopper foul, third base side. It's 3-2. But I think where the rub could be, and I'm just guessing here, but I think the rub is a lot of players and coaches are used to pitches that are close, if they're about half the width of the baseball off the corners, getting that call. That's not been the case today. The pitch swung on, and here's a little looper into right center field. Diving and making the catch is the right fielder. Holy cow. Put a star by that one. Wyatt Meldrum robs Rucker Braden of a base hit, and in dramatic fashion, I might say. That is 1, 2, 3, 6, 9. That is 12. Make it 13 straight retired by Chase Benton. We head to the bottom of inning number 5. Sumter 6 and Richland 1. Back in a moment on the We Are Fort Moore Broadcasting Network. having a little too much fun here at the old ballpark with Michael Reschneider, who is doing a great job in the box beside us. Michael is keeping game changer. He's the official scorer for these games and doing a fantastic job. One of his sons is the public address announcer today. It's a Reef Snyder type day over there. That pitch is swung on, and for the eighth time today, somebody ambushes the first pitch, and it's a fly out for Clayton Goff. So again, one pitch and one out. And maybe it's the scouting report. Maybe it's something where, and you saw Inman do it in the first game. Maybe it's just players over anxious, or maybe it's the scouting report that says, hey, first pitch, if it's in the zone, give it a rip. Pitch, change up, right over the outside corner. And I'll say this, Nolan Cook has come in and done pretty well. That pitch is swung on, and the kiss of death from a broadcaster. That pitch is swung on and ripped back up the box in the center field for a base hit. Sometimes it's best if you just keep your big trap shut. That will be base hit number one. Oh, no, hold on. Got to do some math here. I hate doing math. Fifth base hit of the day for Sumter. I thought it was the sixth. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Nope. 1, 2, and 1 for Richland. 6, 5, and 0 for Sumter. There's a throw over to first. I'm going to go out on a limb and say that was not the A++ move of one Nolan Cook. These lefties with this release point, so hard to run on. The pitch, swung on and missed. Pulled the string on Davis Campbell. Richland drew first blood on a balk, of all things, back in the first. It's been all Sumter since. 3 runs in the second, 3 more in the fourth. Runner takes off for second. The pitch is a ball. The throw down, not in time. That'll be a stolen base for Coulter. Not a bad throw. I mean, the catcher put it right there. But the runner with a great jump. One and one the count to Mr. Campbell. The pitch. There's the Uncle Charlie, but just off the outside corner. 2 balls and strike to Davis Campbell, who is 0 for 1. A sac bunt. And he struck out to end the third. Sumter looking for insurance. Richland trying to keep the score right where it's at. That pitch scrapes the outside corner, much to the dismay of Davis Campbell. 2 balls and 2 strikes. There's only 1 out and a runner at second. Pitch from Nolan, swung on and foul back to the screen. It'll stay 2-2. Austin Laughlin started the day. He's out of Cardinal Newman. He was replaced by Nolan Cook, who's out of Dreer. A lot of talent comes out of these Columbia area schools annually. Another 2-2, swung on and popped up. Second baseman says he's got it, stares up into the Florence sky, and he'll squeeze it for out number 2. That ball went about the height of the lights and then came back down. So 2 down for Hayden Lyons, who's 1 for 2, but his double back in the second tied the game at 1, and then the floodgates opened for Sumter. Pitch from Nolan Cook. Tried to bring that breaking ball around the outside corner, but not enough. And the pitch from Cook split the heart of the plate, but that will miss low. Cook looks at the base runner, but he will come plateward. The pitch swung on and missed. 2 balls and a strike is the count to Hayden Lyons. So we're the late afternoon now. 5:30 here in the beautiful Palmetto State. That pitch is swung on and roped in the left field. Is going to drop for a base hit. Roaring around second, coming home to score is Coulter. Sliding into second base with an RBI will be Hayden Lyons. And Sumter has kicked the extra point. It's 7-1. Just tomahawked a pitch that caught too much of the zone and just ripped into left field. That is the second RBI of the day for Hayden Lyons. He's 2 for 3. And now we're going to have a pinch hitter here for the P15s. No, we're going to have a new runner out at second. And with these numbers being red outlined in blue on these American flag jerseys, I've got no chance of seeing who that is, even with binoculars. So there'll be a new runner out at second base. And as soon as I know who it is, I will certainly pass that along. So here's Gavin Rivers. Pitch to Gavin. Has to back out of the way of that front door breaking ball. Mr. Rivers has had a productive day. Been hit by a pitch, scored a run in the second, singled, and came around to score again in the fourth. Nolan Cook brings it. There's the slider, but it missed low and outside. 2 balls and no strikes to Rivers. Cook comes plateward, and the pitch is swung on and missed. 2-1. As shadows begin to creep across the playing surface here at Sparrow Stadium, Cornell Field. The 2-1 swung on and missed. It's 2-2. Asked the athletic director of Francis Marion before the game. I said, sir, it's going to be a very bizarre question, but can I actually walk around the field? And he said, sure, just don't touch the dirt. I was like, I would never dream of it. If you're a baseball coach, you don't walk on somebody else's dirt. That is a no-no. The pitch from Cook swung on and fouled off at home plate. What I wanted to do was measure for myself the dimensions of this ballpark, and I wanted to know exactly how far the foul territory was all the way up and down the lines. 58 feet until you get to 100 feet down each baseline, and then it gets substantially less down to 13 feet. And that pitch is swung on and hit out of play foul left side. It'll stay 2-2. So the last 30 feet to the outfield fence, you've got 13 feet of foul territory, and that's where the bullpens are. Two and two, the count to Rivers. And now time is called. I believe it was called by Gavin, but not 100% sure. The folks that are sitting in the seats in front of me here, they're now in the precious shade. High sought after real estate. Location, location, location. And speaking of location, that one's outside the zone. It's 3-2. Three-two from Nolan Cook. Something off speed, just a bit outside. Wow. What a take by Gavin Rivers. And Nolan Cook looks to the heavens in frustration, but that'll be ball 4. So runners at first and second, 2 down for Carson Todd. It's Wyatt Meldrum, I beg your pardon. Pitch outside the zone. So, I beg your pardon, that walk will be issued to Carson Todd. And Gavin Rivers, who was at second, was taken down for a pinch runner. Still not sure who that is. The pitch swung on and a one hopper to the second baseman. He'll glove it. He'll throw to first, and that'll retire the side. But a run on 2 hits, no errors, and 2 left on base. After 5 complete, Sumter 7 and Richland 1. Back in a moment here on the We Are Fort Moore Broadcasting Network. Headed off to inning number 6. Appreciate y'all tuning in today, wherever you may be, across the fruited plains. The pitch swung on and a 2-hopper deep in the hole at short. Got to set his feet. Throw across as a 1-hopper. Gets by the first baseman. It'll be backed up by the catcher, but that is an infield base hit for the leadoff batter, Caleb Gibson. 13 straight set down by Chase Benton will come to an end on that infield base hit. So the leadoff man aboard for Richland Post 215. That'll take us back to the top of the order at Cooper Revels. 1-3-1 for Richland. 7-6-0 for the P15s from Sumter. The pitch swung on and foul tipped into the glove of the catcher for strike 1. 0 for 2. A fly out to center, lined out to right. And the pitch swung on and a hard ground ball off the third baseman's glove into left field. That ball was a scalded dog. Back-to-back base hits here for Richland. So after not having a single base hit since the first, they come off the deck, and the first 2 have reached here in the top of inning number 6. Gibson's at second, Revels at first for Rentz Best, who's 0 for 2, a strikeout looking and a pop out. And he looks at a front door breaking ball that misses for ball 1. And all of a sudden, Chase Benton, who had been basically in cruise control for 4 innings, 5 innings in a way, that pitch bangs the outside corner, ball and a strike to Rentz Best. First name Rence. Pitch from Benton. That one's in the dirt. Nice stop by the catcher, who is new. And whoever it is, as soon as I find out who it is, I will certainly pass that along. And the pitch from Denton. Fastball outside corner, but just off the corner. And that pitch outside the zone, and it's ball 4. And just like that, the bases are loaded. And that'll bring a visit to the mound by the pitching coach for the P-15s. Still not sure who the catcher is now for the P-15s. When the game started, the catcher was Gavin Rivers. So the catcher now is either James Claffey or Clayton Douglas Cato. There it is. It's Cato. That pitch swung on and fouled back to the screen, and Michael Reefsnyder and I spent the last 10 minutes trying to figure out who in the Sam Hill is the catcher. Oh, bless. Pitch from Benton swung on and popped up. Will this stay in play? No, it will not. It will bang off the top of the dugout first base side. No balls and 2 strikes to Carew Bates, who's 1 for 2, a double, an RBI, a run scored, and a fly out to left, or excuse me, a fly out to right, beg your pardon. Sometimes us broadcasters get our left and our rights mixed up. No, most don't. It's just me. It would be a me problem, as most everything usually is. 0-2 the count. Ducks on the pond. Base runners as far as the eye can see for Richland post 215. This is their chance to get back in the game. The pitch swung on and roped in the left field. Coming home to score will be Gibson. Coming right behind him is Cooper Revels. The throw will go to third, and it gets away from the third baseman and will trickle down the line. Coming home to score will be Best. And that'll go as an RBI double, and then it will be an E7. First error of the day for Sumter, and it's 7-4. So give 2 RBIs to Carew Bates. And just like that, post 215's back in this ballgame. And the first pitch is fouled off by Julian Scott. Tell you how that was scored in just a second by our official scorer here. The pitch, outside corner, but low. So they will credit Bates with a single. He will advance to second on the throw. And they will charge the error, and the pitch is swung on and popped up on the infield. Who wants it? The shortstop says he's got it. He'll squeeze it for out number 1. So to finish that scoring, so it'll be a single. It'll be 2 RBIs, but the error was charged to the third baseman, not the left fielder. So go as an E5. So a runner at third for Richland. 1 down for Evan Smith. In what was a comfortable lead for the P-15s, not so comfortable anymore. It's 7-4. Pitch, high and inside. Pitch from Benton. This is low and outside. Now, there is action going on in the Sumter bullpen as the post 34 youngins from Rock Hill, South Carolina are in the ballpark. The pitch right down Tom Hall Street with the Uncle Charlie at the bottom of the zone, and it's 2 balls and a strike. To Evan Smith. Mr. Smith today 0 for 2, struck out looking to end the 4th. Grounded out to short to end the first. The pitch. Outside corner at the knees. And it's 2-2. And if you're Richland, at the very least, you wanted to get that runner in from third, that would make it a 7-5 game. 2-run lead is a whole lot different than a 3-run lead. It doesn't seem like a lot, but it is. That pitch is swung on and a ground ball to the shortstop. This will score the run to throw to first in time. Give an RBI to Evan Smith, and it's 7-5. Coming home to score is Carew Bates, who is still got a hitch in his giddy-up, unfortunately. He hurt himself back in the first, and it's starting to scream a little louder with each at bat. So bases empty, 2 down for Andrew Peck. 7-6-1 for Sumter. 5-5-1 for Richland. That pitch is swung on and hit high in the air, fairly deep left field. The left fielder misplays it, and he loses control of it. The ball goes off his glove, then the center fielder tries to pick it up, and he can't pick it up. And that'll extend the inning. That'll go as an E7. Second error of the inning on the P15s. And again, folks, coming into this half inning, it was 7-1. Now it's 7-5. And the potential tying run steps into the box in the form of Matthew Moore. Are we having fun yet? The pitch swung on and popped up a mile high, foul territory. Third baseman over near the warning track says he's got it, and he does. And that will retire the side. However, 4 runs, 3 hits, 2 errors, 1 left. We head to the bottom of the 6th inning. It's game on now. Sumter 7 and Richland 5. You're watching and listening to the 2023 South Carolina American Legion Baseball Championships here from Sparrow Stadium in Florence, South Carolina on the We Are Fort Moore Broadcasting Network. Going to go ahead and bring you fine folks back in here because we have a change on the mound for Richland Post 215. Nolan Cook's afternoon is over, and the new twirler for the fellas from the Midlands is going to be number 88. That's Ryan Harrelson, a rising senior for the Falcons of AC Flora. He is a right-hander submariner. So the day started with Laughlin, and then they went to Nolan Cook, and now it's Ryan Harrelson's job to keep the P15s right where they're at. It's 7-5 Sumter. And due up here for Sumter, going to be at the top of the order. Dubose Rimbert, Jashawn Bimbo, and Clayton Goff. Here's Mr. Rimbert. Going to square around a bunt, comes up empty. He's 0 for 2, a ground out, a strikeout, walked in the 4th, and came around to score. Which at the time, at the time gave Sumter a 6-1 lead. It's now 7-5. That pitch off the outside corner. 1-1 to count to Dubose Rembert. In a game that was rolling merrily along and fairly one-sided, not anymore. That pitch swung on and fouled off. 1 ball and 2 strikes. As I tell you what, a lot of fans have gotten smart. They're coming into the ballparks with these lithium battery-powered fans. 2 gentlemen from Florence just came in and did that. That pitch comes inside and hits him on the backside. So a hit by pitch off the gluteus maximus, as it were. And the leadoff man aboard here for the P15s for Jayshawn Bimbo. Jayshawn is 1 for 2, a strikeout, a single, a walk, 2 RBIs for the very stocky young man from Sumter, South Carolina. Really strong young man, stocky, tall, squares around the bunt. Ball pops out of the catcher's mitt. No harm, no foul. That was a mix-up. You don't normally see a mix-up with nobody on second, but that was. In fact, the coach for Richland came out of the dugout third base side and was having a go at his pitcher. Apparently the pitcher was the one who missed whatever call that was supposed to be. 5-5-1 for Richland, 7-6-2 for Sumter. Runner takes off for second. They're going to pull the bunt back. The throw down is a worm burner, and sliding in safely is Dubose Rembert. So give Rembert a stolen base. And now Insurance is in scoring position, nobody out. So Jayshawn's job has changed a little bit now. The pitch comes inside and almost hits Jayshawn. 2 balls and a strike to Bimbo. The fleet of foot center fielder. Open stance, but he's right in the middle of the box. Pitch from Harrelson. Caught the outside corner, but up at the letters, and it's 3-1. Pitch from Harrelson, swung on and missed. Oh, Ryan Harrelson pulled the string on Jayshawn, and Jayshawn swinging for the downs. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Pitch from Ryan Harrelson. Off-speed pitch off the outside corner. That's ball 4. And another free pass issued by Richland post 215. That is walk number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That is the 8th walk issued today by Richland. 5 walks issued by Laughlin, 1 from Cook. Now the head coach of Richland comes out, and I think he wants a change on his defense. Because Clayton Goff, the third baseman, is going to guard against the bunt here. Pitch from Harrelson, swung on and a little duck snort into left field, but the left fielder misplayed it. He came in and the ball goes over his head all the way to the wall. Coming around to score is Rembert. Here comes Jayshawn. He scores easily. It'll go as a double for Clayton Goff, and Sumter regains their lead. It's now 9-5. And when it came off the bat, even I thought it was going to be a line drive and something just diving out of the zone or diving out of the way. But no, that ball kept carrying and had all kinds of spin on it. And it fooled the left fielder as well, who, by the way, not making an excuse here, but by the way, when he looks up, He's looking right into the sun. So now instead of a 2-run lead for the P-15s, it's now a 4-run lead. So just as Richland got back into it, Sumter comes right back. And that one is swung on and missed by Bryce Coulter. Mr. Coulter is 1 for 2 today. Struck out in the third, singled in the fifth, walked in the second. Pitch from Harrelson, outside corner at the knees. It's 0-2. And Coulter looks at his coach and says that ball was low. In case you're wondering who is happy with the home plate umpire, the answer right now would be nobody. Both sides have had a right go with the gentleman, but I will say this, to me, from where I'm sitting as a neutral, it's a tight zone, sure, but it's been consistent both sides. The 1-2 swung on and fouled back. Stays 1-2 to Bryce Coulter. By the way, the runner at second, there's still nobody out. Pitch from Harrelson. Swung on and rode right to the second baseman. It'll be a race to the bag. He is safe. Clayton Goff almost doubled off. But Coulter lines out to second. That'll be out number 1. And in walks Davis Campbell. As at 6 o'clock, the pitch off the outside corner. 6 o'clock on the nose. Here in beautiful Florence, South Carolina, the 2023 South Carolina American Legion Senior Baseball Championships from Sparrow Stadium, home of the Francis Marion Patriots. The 1-0 from Harrelson off the inside corner, 2-0. I want to say thank you to Legree Oswald and Michael Reef-Snyder for allowing me the opportunity to put all of these games on YouTube. I'll be with y'all all 3 days. Appreciate your support of these wonderful players and coaches. That pitch clips the outside corner. It's 2-1. In case anybody's wondering, my name is John Turner. I'm the voice of Fort Mill Post 43 Seniors. The voice of Post 43 Juniors is my buddy Keith Cook. The pitch off the outside corner, 3-1. As a matter of fact, we have a podcast. It's called Mouthy Milltowners. We put out a new episode every Sunday night, and we do discuss South Carolina American Legion baseball, not just around the town of Fort Mill, but the state of South Carolina. The pitch swung on a miss, tied him up. And Davis with a what they call a daddy hack makes it 3-2. Pitch from Harrelson, swung on and a tapper, third base side. Harrelson's got it, got to throw first, got him. What a throw. What a play by Ryan Harrelson. That is a right-handed pitcher. He's finishing on the first base side of the diamond. He's got to get to that baseball because the third baseman is out in no man's land. He can't help you. That's the pitcher's responsibility. And he got to it. He set his feet. He did not panic, and he threw an absolute bullet to first. Note for all the young people out there. He threw it to first like he was throwing a pitch. He did not loft it. He did not change his angle. He set his feet and to first. How many times do you see in the game of baseball where a pitcher will get to a ball like that and all of a sudden they feel like they got to guide it to first? No, let her rip, Tater Chip. Send it over there. Let your first baseman do his job. That pitch wide and outside the zone, a ball and a strike as the head of one of the umpiring associations in the state has walked into the stadium. Makes me wonder if he will be out there for the nightcap as that pitch misses outside the zone, 2-1. Like I said, the umpires in the first 2 games, these are some well-known dudes. 2 balls and a strike to Hayden Lyons. The pitch just off the outside corner. And I will say that has gone against the run and play so far. That's been called a strike most of the day, but not right there. The 3-1 from Harrelson swung on chopper to the third baseman. He gloves it. Got to throw a bullet to first. Does he make the play? No. First baseman's off the bag. Coming home to score for the P15s is Goff, and it's 10-5. That will go as a base hit and an RBI for Hayden Lyons. And the coach for Richland's going to come out and ask for help. But it looked like to me the first baseman, he had his foot on the base, but then as the throw got to the bag, that cleat kind of seemed to come off that front corner, that front left corner of the pillow. But again, I'm 100, 170, 200 feet away from the play. That gentleman was literally inside the baseline looking straight down at it. That's exactly where an umpire is supposed to be. And umpires moved their feet. They've hustled. They've been in the right spot. You kind of got to give them the benefit of the doubt. The umpire was where he's supposed to be. Had a great look at it. Close play? Absolutely. Nonetheless, it's 10-5. That's the 8th base hit of the day for Sumter. And they've now doubled up Richland. The pitch swung on and a tapper foul. Interestingly enough, the final score of the first game of the day was 10-5. Camden defeated Inman. Opinions in the press box differ on the last call. The pitch swung on and missed. It's 0-2. Inman has been eliminated. Thoughts and prayers for Coach Skinner for Inman. Not in the best of health, but he's fighting like a hero would, and our thoughts and prayers are with Coach Skinner. That pitch off the inside corner is 1-2. Unfortunately, his boys were eliminated by Camden, so Camden will play tomorrow night at 4 o'clock against the winner of this game. Pitch swung on and fouled into the stands, first base side, and it'll stay 1-2. The nightcap is Rock Hill against Florence. Your last two state champions going nose to nose. And I cannot wait to wax poetically about the stats in that game. I have a whole gaggle of them. Many thanks to the Florence folks for their information, and a big tip of the cap to Andrew Shipman, a former Rock Hill Post 34 player. The pitch swung on and fouled off. Andrew Shipman, a former star for the Northwestern Trojans. He is working on, I think, his second master's degree at Clemson. And by the way, his sister is about to get married, so a lot going on in the Shipman household. The pitch swung on, tapper third base side, but foul. And it'll stay 2-2. Rock Hill going to wear the red jerseys tonight. Looks like Florence, I think Florence is going to go, are they going with the black tops? Kind of hard to tell. The pitch from Harrelson stays high, 3-2. I made the mistake again. You shouldn't make the same mistake twice, but I do it all the time, of saying that Florence wears garnet because of Derek Urquhart and the South Carolina Gamecock roots. It is cardinal. The pitch swung on, and this one's hit foul third base side. And if anything, having Harrelson work really, really hard to get this third and final out, it was 7-1 headed to the sixth. And Richland cut it to 2. They made it 7-5, but Sumter has retaliated with a 3-run uprising here at the bottom of the sixth. Pitch from Harrelson. Here it comes. Popped up. Infield. Center of the diamond. Who wants it? The first baseman calling off everybody, and he will look into the Florence sky, and he will squeeze it for out number 3. But 3 runs will come across the plate on 2 base hits. There were no errors, and more runners left on for Sumter. Last chance saloon for Richland. We head to the top of the 7th inning. Sumter 10, and Richland 5. Back in a moment on the We Are Former Broadcasting Network. All right, you crazy kids, headed off to the top of the 7th inning. Last chance saloon for the boys from the Midlands. Richland post 2:15. They trail Sumter by a score of 10-5. Again, that was the final score of the first game of the day as Camden defeated Inman. So Chase Benton going to go back out on the mound for the P15s, trying to give his coach exactly what he wanted, a complete game. In case you're wondering, 6 innings pitched so far for Mr. Denton. 5 hits, 5 runs, 4 earned, 1 walk, 3 strikeouts, 90 pitches. So at the moment, there's nothing doing in the bullpen for Sumter. But that could change very quickly if Denton gets into any kind of trouble. But regardless of that, he's done what Sumter needed him to do today. The pitch swung on and hit foul third base side. Gave up the run in the first inning and then gave up those crooked numbers there in the top of inning number 6. But 13 straight retired between the second and the 6th. It's pretty doggone impressive. So despite the score line, and now a couple of guys are going to jog down to the Sumter bullpen. Off-speed pitch, misses low and outside, and now Benton is talking to himself. That pitch in the dirt takes a bite out of the catcher. And 2-1 is the count. And Chase Benton, I think there might be some confusion. I think people think he's talking to himself. He ain't talking to the batters. Chase is having a one-person conversation. He's trying to work out the kinks. Pitch swung on and roped deep left field. The left fielder going back, still going back in front of the track. Will make the catch. Boy, howdy, what a route to get to that ball by Davis Campbell. And 1 up and 1 down. And that'll bring up the 9-hole hitter, Caleb Gibson. And again, these left fielders, as soon as that ball goes in the air, they're staring right into the sun. I mean, directly into it. Pitch from Benton. Outside corner at the knees. Caleb Gibson is 1 for 2 today. A ground out to second, a single, and a run scored in the 6th. Pitch from Benton swung on and fouled off right at home plate. And unless Richland can come from behind, the magic carpet ride will be over for the boys from the Midlands. Hard to believe. This is their 4th elimination game. They survived the first 3, but unless they can put up a crooked number, that will come to an end and Sumter will advance. Pitch from Benton. Fastball outside corner, called strike 3. Got him looking. Caleb Gibson didn't like the call, but that is strikeout number 1, 2, 3, 4. That is strikeout number 4 of the night. And the last hope is the leadoff man, Cooper Rebels. We go back to the top of the order for post 2:15. Benton kicks and fires. The pitch swung on and fouled out of play right side. No balls and a strike. Cooper is 1 for 3. A fly out, a line out, a single, a run scored. 10-5 is the score. Chase Benton brings it. Off-speed pitch, miss low and outside. A ball and a strike as more and more people pile in to Sparrow Stadium here on a Friday night in the PD region of South Carolina. The pitch swung on a tapper, third base side. Third baseman's got to charge it. Off bounce throw to first. Got him. Ball game. What a play. What a play to end it. Your final score, Sumter 10 and Richland 5. And Richland's season will come to an end, and the boys from Sumter will advance. Your final line score, Sumter 10 runs on 8 hits, 2 errors. For Richland, 5 runs, 5 hits, 1 error. Chase Benton gets the complete game win, and he will get a much-needed pat on the back and a drink of water. And Richland's season comes to a close. Sumter will now play Camden tomorrow afternoon at 4 o'clock. I'll be on the air to bring you all the action. The next game up is the third and final game of the day, and it features Rock Hill against Florence. Fireworks aplenty is my humble opinion. Appreciate y'all tuning in today wherever you may be across the fruited plains. Really appreciate y'all's support of these wonderful players and coaches. It means the world to us. Thank you for all you do for these young men. Baseball parents, in my humble opinion, are the best. Baseball moms, best in the world as far as I'm concerned. Just great, great people all the way around. So going to sign off for right now. I'm John Turner, voice of Fort Mill Post 43 Seniors. Going to stop this stream. We'll start a new one for Rock Hill against Florence. And until next time, so long, everybody.